Well, as you can see, we have old Red back in the shop. Last video, we did a redhead steering box install. In this video, we're gonna be installing a steering box brace. As many of you guys know, if you ever driven a straight axle four-wheel drive, and especially these second-gen Dodges, they're prone to death wobble and all sorts of steering issues, wandering, all sorts of stuff like that. So I also wanted to go over in this video a couple of parts I have installed on my truck that have helped prevent those sorts of scenarios with death wobble and wandering from popping up. So let's get into it. So here we have your steering box brace. There's a special kind of bolt that comes with this kit, and what that nut does is it rides inside of this bearing and stabilizes it, so you don't have any sway, you don't have any pull when you're driving down the road. It really just tightens up the whole feel of the steering. Let's go over there and check out how to put it in. All right, let me give you guys an underside view of where this steering brace will actually be going and where it will be mounted. So on each frame rail, there's two pre-threaded holes that your sway bar bolts to. As you can see in my truck, I don't have that. I have them off so I can have a little bit more articulation when I'm off-roading, but that's where they're gonna go. One other key thing that you're gonna need that's gonna come with your kit is this nut that goes on your steering box. It's got a smooth surface, and that's going to ride inside the bearing that comes with your steering box brace. I have the brace right here. I loosely tightened the bearing so we have a little bit of play because these are slotted holes for adjustment, but I have that loosely bolted up. So I'm just gonna go around now that I have everything mounted up and snug everything up by hand to make sure it's tightened down correctly. So, just a little overview. We have our 4 frame bolts installed. We have our 2 bearing bolts. And we have 2 Allen set screws. And that's the brace. That's all it takes to put it on. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I wanted to go over a couple of things that I've done to this truck, as well as my last second-gen Dodge, that have really helped me tighten up and keep this steering nice and tight and prevent things like wander and death wobble from happening. I'd say the number one thing is addressing your track bar, which is connecting your frame to your axle. That's the number one thing that that allows the axle to wander and move and shake uncontrollably. So I'd say that's number one is addressing your track bar. Number 2 would be addressing all your tie rod ends and making sure that those are all nice and tight and have no play in them. What I've done with the track bar and also these tie rod ends are installing these things called Luke links. So what's so special about this Luke's link is you take an old tie rod, you grind off the top cap. Once you grind off the top cap, you take out all the old internals, and what comes in this kit are new internals. New spring, new rubber bushing, all that sorts of stuff. So you install this top cap and thread it in, and then lock it in place with the cotter pin. And what this allows you to do is whenever your preload wears out, whenever wear happens internally, you're able to adjust the preload and tighten it back up. And once you're out of adjustment, once it's all worn out, they sell rebuild kits for these. So you just take off that cap, swap out all the old internals and swap in your new internals. And voila, you have a fresh tie rod end. Another important thing I changed was this steering stabilizer. This helps the feel of it as it tracks down the highway. Another huge thing, that redhead steering box. I also wanted to bring up wheel bearings. You'll run into wheel bearings going out and they cause a nasty vibration, poor handling, stuff like that, and you're gonna really feel that through your steering. I put Timken wheel bearings on this truck. They're upgraded, made in USA. Supposed to be a little bit nicer. They're holding up well for me, so definitely give them a look. Well, that wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed that steering box stabilizer install video and all those helpful tips if you're dealing with deft wobble, wandering, or poor front end handling. Like, subscribe, comment,